Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to another episode of Miswaak. Let's talk. I'm Shahriar, joining you from Tokyo. Today's conversation is called Justice, Trust, and Artificial Intelligence. Our guest is Barrister Khalid bin Ahmad, barrister at law from Lincoln's Inn, and advocate of Supreme Court of Bangladesh. Khalid, welcome to Miswaak. Let's talk. It is a pleasure to have you with us today.
No, the pleasure is all mine. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Today, it's 15th of August, a deeply significant date in Bangladesh history. On this day in 1975, Sheikhmujiburrahman and most members of his family were assassinated. We remember them. The date is also associated with the birth anniversary of the late former Prime Minister Begum Khaledazia. We respectfully acknowledge her place in Bangladesh's political history. August also reminds us of the student-led uprising in 2024, which ended Sheikh Hasina's long rule. Today, we are not here to support one political side or attack another. We want to understand what happens when people lose faith in their institutions and whether law and technology can help restore that confidence. To give everyone a clear idea of where we are going, the show has 6 short segments. We will discuss about power and uprising. We will discuss about exile and international law, street violence and public trust, delayed justice, personal accountability, and artificial intelligence, and the future of evidence. After that, we will have a quick rapid fire session for our guest, followed by our audience question and answer session. So please stay with us until the end. Khalid, one small note before we begin. If any question crosses your professional boundaries or concerns your confidential matters or something, you are welcome. You please feel free to skip that question. Or okay, so starting with you, Khalid, what made you choose law as a profession? Over to you, Khalid.
Well, this profession is very interesting, but I didn't know that for sure. When I was thinking of choosing a profession, I was looking into being a doctor because my father is a doctor. So I was thinking of becoming a doctor. But then I realized that too much studying is involved in being a doctor. So I was like, okay, I wanted something different, challenging, but interesting. So what should it be? So I was thinking, like, okay, this can be a good profession. Now I realize that there are more studying in being a lawyer than being a doctor, or similar, I guess. So my goal was not satisfied, but yeah, I am very happy with this profession. Every case
Right.
is different. Whenever I take a case, it seems like a new chapter of a novel. So the stories, they're different, and the issues that come up, they're different. So new things. So it's never boring.
Right. That gives us a sense that a doctor behind this profession. So yeah, now let us begin with some bigger pictures like power and public anger. Uh, uh, Khalid, I have done some researches. History gives us some striking examples. For example, in Romania, Nicolae Ceausescu, his 24-year rule began falling apart during a simple live speech. In Syria, Bashar al-Assad ruled for 25 years, 4 years, before fleeing to Russia. In Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina's long rule ended after a student-led uprising. Now, these countries are very different, but in each cases, public anger had been growing beneath the surface. So my question to you is, why do powerful leaders eventually stop listening to the ordinary people?
I think the word I'm trying to search for is arrogance. Once you are in power for a very long time, then sense comes to you. Then your thinking pattern changes. It feels like I am in power, so I am doing everything for the people. I am doing good for the people, and I am the most powerful. So there is no way I will lose power someday, so I can do whatever I want. So that arrogance, that is the reason that they continue doing this. I think this is about this thinking pattern. Like it's not the person. I think it's the chair. Once you go to that position, it power corrupts people. It's very simple. There are
So,
very few people who were never corrupted by power. But usually, when a person goes to a powerful position, they get corrupted.
so you mean that the leaders are actually isolated with the power they have?
You can say that, yes. Yes.
That makes sense. That makes sense. But the leader may still be in power, but no longer connected to the people. What then turns years of quiet frustration into the people finally taking to the streets?
Now, the thing is, once you are disconnected with the people, now you don't know what their basic needs are. Now, the problem arises is that, in fact, in Bangladesh, if I take the issues of this country,
Hmm.
people do not need so many things in this country. People are not greedy here, but some people greedy. But what they want, there are some certain things that they want. The most important thing that they require is the freedom of speech. They want to talk. They don't want to live in a fear that if I talk in the morning, in the evening, there is a possibility that I won't be able to reach home. People don't like that. So
Understood.
it was going on for a very long time. People are being arrested for just saying two or three things, which we never saw in the previous years. Like
Hmm.
in 2001, 2006, I saw that there were cartoonists and novelists. They were drawing cartoons, writing novels, or writing stories against the government. And the government never did anything. Why? Because they knew that if they did something, that would become an international issue. And if it becomes an international issue, it will have an effect in the next election. Now,
Hmm.
during the regime of Sheikh Hasina,
Hmm.
that was not an issue because the elections, you know, how they took place. So
Correct.
she was sure that she was going to be in power, so she could do whatever she wanted. So
Right.
if a cartoonist drew a cartoon
Hmm.
against her, she just sometimes did those things that if the normal procedure was present,
Right.
no person in power would dare to do.
Right.
So in
Hmm.
this way, people were being oppressed. So when a person feels that he is being oppressed, and there is no other way, either you strike back or die,
Hmm.
then people will come to streets. Simple.
But okay, I understand what you mean, but I'm sure you have no you have idea about the China. China also experienced public anger and local protests, but these rarely becomes nationwide movements. So what is China doing different? I mean, people can genuinely challenge the government through the courts. Uh, can an uprising be prevented?
The thing
Okay.
is, what I was saying is that I'm sure you know that at the uprising of during the uprising of the communism in China. What happened was that people saw that either they had to die trying or they die like this. So they chose to die trying. So there was a situation where there was a bridge which they needed to cross, and if they could cross it, they would reach the capital. And there were machine guns at the other side of the bridge, and there were millions of people on the other side. So they started running towards the machine guns because they knew that the machine guns would kill some people, but the next line will cross them. So maybe thousands of people died on the bridge trying, but they did cross the bridge and they reached the capital. That's how the communism started there. So why did it happen? Why did it happen? Because the people, they got frustrated. They saw that uproar is the only option. Can it be prevented? Yes. You have to listen to people. If I don't have something, if I am suffering and I can't talk about it, that is the minimum of the minimum standard. Like in China, if you think they can be frustrated with the government, but their basic needs are met. Things are going very well in most of the cases. People get frustrated. I've seen in the UK, people are frustrated with the government. Okay, I was thinking like, what are you frustrated about? You have everything you need. But in Bangladesh, we're suffering, right? But still, they are frustrated with their government. So people will be frustrated with the government. That's a normal thing. Maybe I need something and I couldn't get it. The government couldn't provide it for me. Normally, I'll be frustrated. That's very normal. Everyone will be frustrated for something. But once the issue is the same, issue of frustration becomes the same among the people, that becomes a problem. So government must, take initiatives to remove that issue. So that's what is being done by in most of the countries. That did not happen in Bangladesh.
So are you saying that China? Are you saying that China listens to its local people?
Mostly.
I see.
Mostly. But there are some issues they do not address. But they.
But how about Khalid? Let's say China has a very less foreign control over their own country than Bangladesh has. So can we not think about, if you are already a powerful country, there is more likely that you can control your local people by showing them lethal weapons, by trying to control them, their anger, because you don't have any foreign affairs or any foreign factors that is affecting our Bangladesh's decisions making.
No. So the question you are asking is that if I am a very powerful country, then I don't have any foreign pressure on me.
Correct.
So it will be easier for me to control my own people, right?
Right.
No, I don't think that is the case. Look at USA. They are powerful, right? So they should have total control over their own people. But they don't. Their own people are against the government. The recent incidents of US and Iran, right? The people of US is against the decision of Trump.
But how about Israel is more powerful than the US?
That part I cannot answer because I still don't know why USA is always backing up Israel.
Anyway, let me go back to the question. So, does it solve really the problem of the anger of the public by strict control by the government, or no?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Right.
If you try to bend a stick, maybe it will bend a little, but at some point it will break. So if you are strict upon the people, for some time they will obey. But at some point they'll be angry and they will go against it, and
Correct.
an uproar will begin. That's what happened in Bangladesh.
Right. Right. Yeah, so absolutely rightfully is mentioned about that, Khalid. Let us say a government does fall and its former leader leaves the country. The public may still want accountability, but bringing that person back is not.
Account-
Sorry, I mean your voice cut out.
That is the perfect word you have just said.
Okay,
Accountability. That
accountability.
is
Yeah,
the thing that
right.
we Bangladeshi people wanted.
Correct,
But
correct. So, but bringing that person back is not really straightforward. So that makes us takes us to the international law segment. When a former leader, Khalid, when a former leader is living abroad, how can Bangladesh legally bring that person back for the trial?
it requires international relations, like the expedition treaties and everything.
Hmm,
So I will ask the government. It depends actually. The international relation between us and the foreign countries. We will ask the government to send that person, and if the more what should I say, the stronger the relationship with the foreign government, the more the possibility becomes more viable to bring that person in Bangladesh back.
hmm,
So, the person who is now right now sitting in India, that person has better understanding and relationship with the government than the present
okay.
Bangladesh government. So, the international relation is the key here. So, in legally speaking, extradition treaties, how it works is that if a person is currently sitting in a foreign land, and
Hmm,
if Bangladeshi courts have already passed a judgment on that person, we will just reach out to that government and say that we have a treaty between us that if we want someone to be brought back in this country, you will hand him or her over to us, and as Bangladeshi courts have already pronounced a judgment, uh, we want them back. So give them back. The government
hmm,
will look at the judgment and look at the application and think that okay, we have a treaty with that country. So can it be possible that we give that person to back to that country? And if they see that giving back that person
hmm.
will benefit them in any way, and it will strengthen the relationship between that country and this country, they will proceed with that.
Okay,
But
so
that
the
is the
whole,
reason we are
yeah.
not being able to bring the former prime minister back in this country.
So the host country has its own laws and must make its own decision.
Yes,
But I have heard
exactly.
some members of Indian civil society make a particular claim that they say Interpol becomes involved only after someone has been convicted. Now, having said that, our Ministry of Foreign Affairs and other maybe internal affairs has mentioned that they have issued Interpol notice and something like that. Uh, will that consider under the treaty we have currently with India? Or, I mean, is that true? Can
Yes,
Interpol also act when someone is wanted to face trial?
yes, yes. It can be. If you let go Bangladesh,
Yes.
just let go Bangladesh. Netanyahu,
Hmm.
there
Hmm.
there is a warrant against in his name, right?
Hmm.
It's floating
Yes.
around. So it's the same. So in Bangladesh, there's ICT, International Crimes Tribunal. The International Crimes Tribunal has circulated warrant, and the
Hmm.
warrant was then given to Interpol, and
Hmm.
Interpol issued an international warrant. So it is possible even before the judgment has been pronounced, because in International Crimes Tribunal, the person should be present while being, while trial proceeds. So it is very important that a person is present. So
Hmm.
they have to do all in their power to make that person present in the tribunal before the tribunal. So they have circulated the warrant, and it will and through the Interpol they're trying to execute the warrant. So even before the judgment is pronounced, it's possible.
Okay. Maybe if I try to bridge with this segment to the another one, that asking for accountability is one thing. Proving that the process will be fair is maybe another topic. That creates a difficult public questions. Now, let's say Sheikh Hasina is the leader of a political party. So does that automatically make a case against her political, or should we look at the alleged crime and the evidence? I mean, if you are a leader of a political party, can you be exempted
From
from the verdict that you have already received from the judges?
well, first let's think about what is the meaning of political cases.
Hmm.
So if I try to clarify it, what we call in this country political cases is that the case was brought against that person because of due to the fact that that person is in politics. If that person was not in politics, then the case would not have brought against him or her. So that is what we call a political case. Now, if a person did something that requires a case to be brought against him or her,
Hmm.
then that's just a case. That's not a political case. Just because a person is in politics, it should not be thought that whatever is brought against him or her is political case. There is no basis behind that case. The case is completely no. That's not the truth.
Hmm.
Now the thing is, what happened in July, we have all seen it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't want to get into the details of it.
Hmm.
So the case is there. The cases were brought, and people considered this to be the offense against
Hmm.
humanity. So that's why it is in the tribunal right now. So if you call that a political case, you can call it a political case just for the sake of argument. That could be a defense case.
Hmm.
But there are evidences, there are allegations, and it should be treated as no. Now the thing is, just because she was the leader of the opposite party,
Hmm.
and we all have seen it, right? So we know what happened. We know where the order came from. However,
Right, and I cannot disagree at this point, because many of us, in fact, were in affected by the regime.
yeah,
That regime was actually affecting a lot of common people, and the
yes,
outcry was there, never been seen by the government.
exactly,
So
exactly.
if I ask you one question, Khalid, that how can an ordinary person tell the difference between a political revenge and a fair trial? I mean, can ordinary people identify that?
If you apply logic, then yes, you can. Now, if now or if you think about an ordinary person will not sit throughout the whole session of the court and look at the judgments, right?
Right.
What they will think is that, okay, we have seen those things and we saw that it happened. It could not have been happened other than the orders of that person. So he is guilty. So an ordinary person already makes a presumption in his or her minds.
Hmm.
This is not how law works. Now, what it should be done is that look at all the evidences. Even if the judges know that that person did it, he cannot just pronounce the judgment. He will have
Hmm.
to look into the evidence. He will have a split personality. A judge must have a split personality. One personality knows he did it. He must
Hmm.
delete it. Then he must look into the evidences, whatever are being produced, and just based on those evidences, he must take the decision. Now, does it happen like that? No.
No.
But should it be? Yes. Even if it is the worst person in the world, it should be like this. If the evidence says otherwise, you do not convict a person. This should be the case. Now, for an ordinary person, that is
Hmm.
very difficult to understand. For example, in Bishwajit case, do you remember the Bishwajit
Absolutely
case?
remember that. Yeah.
There were, if I recall, maybe 7 people were pronounced. Death penalty was pronounced for 7 people. Most probably, I'm not pretty. Either 7 or 10. The
Hmm.
number is like that. You know, in Bangladesh, there is a procedure that the session judge, which is the
Hmm.
trial court, trial court. Okay,
Hmm.
he pronounced the judgment with death penalty. Now, if a death penalty is pronounced, the issue will go to the High Court, and the
Hmm.
High Court will look into the evidences that was taken by the session judge, and
Hmm.
the High Court, the Honorable High Court, will reconfirm whether the death penalty was appropriate to be passed here or not. This is called
Ah.
death reference. So
Okay.
when the matter of Bishwajit went to High Court,
Hmm.
the High Court judge, I have seen that justice, very good justice. He knows well.
Hmm.
He saw that the evidences were pretty, in very bad shape. So he could not connect most of the evidences. So at last, he just kept one person for death penalty and 4 maybe
Hmm.
for
Other charges.
life imprisonment,
Hmm.
and then so on. It goes on. So it was reduced drastically, right?
Right.
The session judge was pressurized to do it. He saw the trial
Hmm.
and he understood the emotion, and he got distracted or whatever, driven by it.
So, so,
Or
but Khalid, you mentioned about Bishwajit. I really appreciate that you brought this topic. But do you think that the session judge, he found one person at least to give to sentence him death, and the others for other charges? So do you really believe that punishment is not automatically uh, justice? The punishment that given was not proper
it's
justice.
part, it's part of it. If you do not give punishment, what else is there? The
But that
punishment
is not.
will bring
But
peace.
is it a justice? Do you call it as justice, or it's just a
This is
punishment
not,
for the sake of
this is
punishment?
this is not the whole picture of justice,
Hmm.
but this is part of justice. So, what do you call justice?
So there is a
What is
confusion.
justice? No, justice means it must be fair, it must be accessible, it must be timely. This is justice. So, what is justice? Someone did something to me. There should be a fair trial. I should be accessible to the trial, and trial must be conducted. Time. This is justice.
Hmm.
So if you think that punishment is
Hmm.
not justice, no, punishment is a form of justice. It's a part of justice. If you don't give punishment, what else can you give? What
Okay.
else can you?
So I see. So punishment is okay. Okay. Now I got your idea that punishment is not the whole picture of the justice, but it's a tiny bit of a factors. I mean, the same confusion appears on our streets when a crowd decides to punish an accused or maybe an innocent person itself. That actually takes us to the next segment. I deliberately avoid the phrase mob justice. A mob cannot deliver justice. I think a crowd can attack someone, it can kill someone, but that is something violence, not justice. So, Khalid, my question is, why do people attack an accused person instead of trusting the police?
Frustration. If you if you want one word answer, frustration. I want there to be justice. I'm a normal person. I want it to be justice. I want everything to be properly conducted.
Hmm.
Now, I can see that things are happening in this society,
Hmm.
but nothing is happening against them, the perpetrators.
Hmm.
Like I just bought a mobile phone and I am going back home. I'm happy. Three
Hmm.
people came, took that phone away from me. I go to the police. I can see that that phone can be tracked. If the police does not take any action, that creates a frustration in me.
Hmm.
Now, the second time, maybe I won't do it. The third time, if I find someone being robbed or I am being robbed, I will
Hmm.
attack. And the people will attack as well. You know, I don't know whether you remember it or not. In 2004, 5, or 6, or at that time,
Hmm.
I saw that there was a trend. A trend started. Like the
Hmm.
mugging got really,
At its peak.
yeah. So what happened was that people started catching them and putting put them up on fire
Hmm. Hmm.
alive. That happened once or twice. What is this? You can call it mob justice, but this is the actually the release of frustration. People are frustrated. Like maybe the person who put the first fire on, maybe he lost his phone last month by a mugger to a mugger. So this
So,
is how it happens. When there is injustice, when the justice is not prevalent,
hmm.
then it happens. Like I have to be sure in my mind
Hmm.
that okay, there was something against happened against me. Government will take care of it. I must think like that. If that does not come to my mind first, then these things will come.
So, so you're saying that people lack the trust on police and uh,
Of course.
the policymakers. Anyway, so exactly, I also agree to that. But I don't actually support that lynching someone among thousands of people, burning them to death. It's not something like that. I would say justice. But they may believe that if they means the people may believe that if they hand the accused person to the police, that person will soon walk free.
Yeah.
How do you restore confidence in the courts?
Make them believe that it's not going to happen and make them understand that, okay, so many things should be considered at this point.
Hmm.
Now, the mob justice, whatever you say, is it
Hmm.
right? No, it's not right. Why? Let me tell you something. Because the person you just captured, alleging that that person is a mugger or a
Hmm.
kidnapper or something, you might be wrong.
Hmm.
So you must go through a process to determine the fact that whatever allegation is brought against that person is correct. There is a saying in criminal law that let 10 let 10 accused person walk free,
Hmm.
but do not let one single innocent person to be punished.
Hmm.
So that is a maximum of criminal law. So if a person is being alleged of doing something illegal,
Hmm.
there should be a process through which he will have lots of ways to exonerate himself from those
Hmm.
allegations. So if you don't give him that uh, way out, then there's a possibility that you are doing something wrong. Now, but if you keep that process a very long process, then that
Hmm.
creates a problem. What you have to do is you have to make sure that people understands that justice will be served. How? Whenever a crime takes place, police will be there. They will take swift actions. The person will be in custody, whoever the person is.
Hmm.
He will be in custody. He will not be released by the police. He will be delivered or transferred to the court. The court will properly decide on that person's fate and then decide whether he should be bailed out or he should be kept in jail. And at to the point, they must make sure that they do not release the person based on that person's status, like he has a lot of money so he can get out easily. It should not be the case. So if these things are applied, then the judgment should be pronounced swiftly within a particular time frame, and then he will have the right to appeal, and he will make the appeal and everything. But whatever he does, it will be within a very limited time frame. If this happens, people will start believing the system, believing the process, and they will think that, okay, I don't need to do anything. There's a process. So whenever anything happens, instead of taking revenge by my own hand, I'll call the police. Like that happens in the most of the developed countries. Whenever there is a high loud noise, they will call the police.
So if I take it as a weak policing, I mean, that brings us to the next topic, actually, that sometimes officers are present and yet the attack continues. So if police officers stand by while someone is being lynched, what action can be taken against them? Is there anything we have in our law?
We cannot have a tunnel vision. We cannot think it isolated. What you have to think is, why is that police officer standing there and doing nothing? Why? There can be 2 or 3 reasons. Number one, he does not want to get involved in petty things or where he does not need to be involved. So in this case, he should be penalized. Number 2, there are orders from higher ups to do or not to do something. And he cannot do or not to do anything if there are orders from higher ups. Number 3, the scenario you described is within a crowd. Now, I am a single police officer. There are maybe 100, 200 people, and they are doing something to a person. If I try to stop it, I will, share the same fate. Correct. So, can you blame that person? No. So, in these cases, I don't blame the police. So, you cannot just blame the policing. You have to blame the whole system. The police are not being given the proper authority to do these things. Again, it should be check and balance. They should be given a proper authority to do whatever they want through the process, to go through the process happily. Okay, and at the same time, there should be a check that they should not abuse the process. So this is how it should be.
Okay, but if you see that there are, as you mentioned, that hundreds of people, they attack one person maybe. So how does the court actually decide that who did what? Let's say, should the attacker or the person that encouraged the crowd and the person blocking the victim's escape all be treated in the same way? How do you, as a barrister, how would you point out in a crowd mobbing, in a crowd, those mob justice thing you said?
You know why it is called mob justice? Because it is being, there is no face. It's a mob. So in most of the cases, the people who are doing it, they are not, identified. So usually there is no camera and everything. And if there is a camera, the 100 people moving and beating someone, those faces cannot be recognized later.
I'll come to this point again, but I'll let you speak on that. So I will come to the point you said that you are not identified. So I will keep that for the future. Please continue.
Okay. So once you are not identified, you cannot punish a mob because the mob is consists of so many people. You must identify the people who were in that mob. But if they cannot be identified, they cannot be brought to the court. So it becomes very difficult for the court and the police
Hmm.
to bring justice in this case. For example, in Bishwajit, there was 10 to 15 people
Hmm.
who were clearly identified. But if it's 100 people and everyone came together, then
Hmm.
it becomes almost impossible to identify them in
Hmm.
most cases. So that becomes a problem. Yes, that becomes a problem.
I see. But we often see clear videos of these attacks. The public watches the footage, like you said about Bishwajit, and then the court says the evidence is. I mean, everyone says evidence is there, yet the case may still struggle in the court. Why
Yeah.
is the video sometimes alone is not enough?
Okay. Look at you and look at me. We both have beards. We both wear glasses. We both have hairs, back slick,
Maybe
right?
I have long hair than you.
Maybe, yeah, obviously. But in frontal view,
Hmm.
we both have the same features.
Right.
Now, if I change the shirt and wear the same shirt as you are wearing right now, a normal person would definitely struggle to identify who is Raihan, who is Shahriar, and who is Khalid.
Hmm.
Right?
Hmm.
In camera, it becomes a problem. We have a lot of studying in this regard.
Hmm.
So this is identifying the identification matter of identification. So the distance, whether there are something between me and the place where it took place.
Hmm.
The camera, how clear the camera was. Maybe the camera was very clear. Just let me give you a simple example. I am beating someone and standing somewhere. So
Hmm.
I can be identified throughout the time that I am beating and I stood somewhere.
Hmm.
Now, a person of same posture, same beard, same like you are walking through that road, and unfortunately, you are wearing the same clothes like
Hmm.
me, and you went there, you stood right behind me, and I started walking. Okay, the police looked at the camera, saw you, went
Hmm.
there, and captured you. Is it this the situation that I have described? Is it a
Correct.
viable situation?
It is not.
You tell. It is a viable. Can it be? Can it happen? Can it take place?
It can happen. Yes, it can happen.
There's at least 1% chance that it
There
can
is a,
happen.
a substantial amount of chances. Yeah.
You are an innocent person. You are an innocent person. So you are being victimized here. To avoid this to happen, there are procedures.
Hmm.
Among those procedures, it is that the identification. So
Hmm.
if a person is identified through camera, there are still, it is called to be a circumstantial because
Hmm.
it can be wrong. It can be wrong. So there should be other things that supports this video, like the stick that I used to beat that person. My fingerprints will be on it, DNA and everything. Those things will support this video, and then in total, it becomes a strong case. In most of the cases, those other evidences cannot be gathered. That's why
Hmm.
the system struggles.
Okay. So even when the public sees an arrest or a verdict, I'm going to another topic now.
Okay.
That does not mean the entire legal process is complete. For example, take example as Ramisa's case. So it's a painful example of the gap. I mean, I now since though I started about discussing about the case of maybe hardly 8 years old Ramisa Akhtar, because she is a child, I don't want to repeat the disturbing details. The trial court already delivered its verdict on 7th of June 2026, sentenced to death of two people. Their appeals were accepted. The case documented were prepared for the High Court. However, as of 8 August, I have seen the news in Daily Star. The hearing had not started before the designated High Court bench. The court has not yet confirmed the death sentences. So you have also mentioned that High Court is to decide whether or not the verdict is correct. The trial. So my question to you: the trial moved very quickly, as per our Prime Minister's call. Why has the High Court hearing is not started yet?
It's in death reference, right?
It is.
So the thing is, there are lots of evidences that they must go through extensively, and for doing so, they need some time. And Ramisa's case, how unfortunate it can be, but this is not the only case. The justice who are assigned for those death references, they have other cases and they have to go through those cases as well. So it takes a little bit time. So unfortunately, there is nothing can be done because they have to be sure that this is the case, and all the evidences point to the fact that the accused should go through death penalty. So
So,
that is why they are.
but when normal people like me, when we hear death sentence, we think like case is over, but it is not. There is a unforeseen, there is a hidden path. Maybe once the perpetrator sentenced to death, they goes into the jail and they spend their entire life. The verdict never see the light of execution. So what still needs to happen? How do you see
Okay,
that?
let me ask you something. From up to this point, whatever is said suggested that the delay is not acceptable, blah blah blah. Now I'm going to say something. Now, in the case of Ramisa, it was very straightforward. There was the incident, which I don't want to describe, and there was the perpetrator. It was the house of the perpetrator. The perpetrator was caught, and then he was brought to justice. A very simple, open and shut case, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Not every other case will be as simple as that. So, in those cases, those people should have the tools to exonerate themselves if they are innocent. Look, in Ramisa's case, it's quite straightforward. A case can be brought against you as well. Somewhere, police may mistake you as someone else and then arrest you. In that case, if the case proceeds fast, would you like it? No. You want ways to exonerate yourself, right?
Hmm.
So the process should be equal for everyone and the same for everyone. In Ramisa's case, it's quite straightforward, but still they must go through the same process. Now, once a verdict is passed and the death reference is confirmed, he will have the right to appeal against that. It's his right. The right
Yeah,
rests
but
from the
that 60 days, the appeal period has already completed, so it's still not been taken by the High Court.
death
The
reference is not.
60 days of appeal period has been completed in 8th of August.
There are ways to why I could not bring the appeal up. If I explain it to the
Mm-hmm.
court may condone the delay. They will.
What I'm trying to make a point here, maybe not every delay is necessary. As you
You're
already
absolutely
mentioned, yeah.
You're absolutely correct. But you have to understand, driven by our emotions, we should not let justice to be turned to injustice. Let me just give you an example. In Ramisa's case, right?
Mm.
When the incident happened, when I woke up, I saw the incident in Facebook, right? I saw the news within 1 or 2 hours.
It shook the entire country.
Right. The incident was that whatever. I don't want to describe it.
I have issue in another thing, like the perpetrator's wife, her statement. That part I want to talk about. She, at the very beginning of the, the news portals and everything, they started asking her questions, and at the beginning, she gave a statement that I was just sleeping, and I heard some uproars, and I woke up, and I went there to open the door, and I saw that my husband with his friend was cutting the grill of the window. And then I waited for some time so that they can cut the grill, and then I opened the door. Now, my question is, according to that statement was very at the very initial stage. So my question is, along with the perpetrator who is being prosecuted, there was another person. Later, that person again stated in front of the court that there was another person. Now, the police could not find him. Now, they are still searching, but they cannot find him. So the investigation is not over yet. But one person is being prosecuted. So if that other person cannot be found, and if there is actually another person involved, did Ramisa receive justice? In my opinion, no. So there was another perpetrator who got away.
Well,
Why?
let's utter their name properly. So the perpetrators are basically Sohail Rana and his wife Shopna Khatun.
Yes, Shopna Khatun. And Sohail Rana said that there was someone maybe called Dollar, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. He was here, and he was accomplice. He was an accomplice. So another person was there, according to his statement. And at the very initial stage, his wife said the same thing. When his wife was alone, and at that time, it is highly unlikely that she created the scenario in her mind, and it was part of a broad plan that stating these facts will vitiate the trial. I don't think it was that time. The wife, Shopna Khatun, could have proper time to plan this. So there can be another person. So that person got away. Why? Because we thought emotionally. We pressurized police to complete the investigation within a certain period of time. It shouldn't happen.
Khalid, we due to the time shortage, maybe we need to go to the next segment. But this time we have talked about the system. I would now like to bring this closer to your own life and legal experiences. From your own experience, have you seen any wrongdoing where nobody was held accountable? I'm sure you have seen. Any example you would like to share with us today?
Okay, I think I shouldn't, because in those cases, I can be held liable in contempt. So
I see.
I
Okay.
don't want to.
No issue at all. But one thing that I have seen here in Japan, I would really like to share that about my personal responsibility. Reminds me of everyday life in Japan. Let's say if someone repeatedly ignores the rubbish rule, the rubbish may not be collected. So neighbors or building management will usually step in. They will step in because one person's behavior affecting everyone as a collective accountability. So that's, I would not call it a collective punishment, because it's a collective responsiveness, accountability. Your neighbor would say that, hey, plastic bottles should be put here. Look, you need to use YOLO polythenes for the garbages. Otherwise, the truck will not pick your garbage. It will be here forever. So I would like to ask you one thing, that do you see that Bangladesh uh, could that kind of community responsibility work in Bangladesh?
Okay, I have my personal experience with the rubbish. The thing is that at some point, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, government installed rubbish boxes,
Hmm.
maybe after some time, and in, in every roads in Dhaka city. So it
Hmm.
was a good initiative. It was made of metal. What happened was
Yes,
that after maybe 1 month, no rubbish box could be found. Now, if
obviously.
you ask people that don't drop anything here, drop it in a rubbish box, the person would ask, where is the rubbish box? Now, I cannot blame the government, not because he did not put the rubbish box. He did. The government did put a rubbish box. We, the people of this country, took
Hmm.
it home, the rubbish boxes. So, this is the problem in Bangladesh. In Japan, the community says you do things, and there are, the situation is like that, that they can say, if I, as a person of community, ask someone to do
Hmm.
things, he will ask, what will I do? Where will I throw this thing?
Hmm.
I can't give that
Correct.
answer to, but I cannot blame government for it as well because they did their part.
Hmm.
But their part was limited. And what I'm trying to say is that they should have reinstalled it again.
I
But again,
see.
it would be taken home, by the people.
Hmm.
But maintaining it, that's the important thing. Every government ignores.
Very rightfully said, Khalid. We now have two more segments left. Before going into the artificial intelligence, we will now take a few questions from our audience. To my audience, please keep your questions short, clear, and respectful. You may write it in the chat or raise your hand. You are welcome to challenge any idea or any law, but please do not personally attack any individual. And as mentioned earlier, Khalid, you may skip any question that crosses your professional or legal boundaries. So, people who are watching us on Facebook or who are with us in Zoom, you can unmute yourself or drop your question in the comment section. Let's see if we have any question from Facebook. Okay, but having said that, if you don't have any question, you can if you find any question later on, just drop it in the comment section. We will pick him up and we'll try to address them.
I think they're all very intelligent. They understood everything, whatever I said, and agree.
Yes. Khalid, we have one more segment and then we have a wonderful rapid fire session for you. Now, let me jump into the next segment, which is artificial intelligence uh, and the future of the evidence. When a video is shown in the court, how can a judge know that it is real?
Usually, the video does not come to the court directly. The
Uh-huh.
video is given to the technicians of police, and then the technicians they verify the video whether it was in some way, affected or did or was done something to the video, and then the video is described in words, scripting. There is a report. A report is made by the officers, and then the report is given to the judge. And the judge, if the judge wants to see the video, he can see it. So this is how it is made sure that the video is not it is real and it's not worked out everything. I I can't hear you.
Sorry. So, yeah, so considering the AI is increasingly, rapidly increasing, right? So, if one AI, artificial intelligence, creates a fake uh, video, how, I mean, you have mentioned that there is another filter they checks the video
Yes.
is real or not. How do they basically, I mean, I'm not sure if you know about it. If one AI creates a fake video, do they use another AI, say that it's real?
I don't know how
I mean,
they
do you
are.
even use artificial intelligence?
Me personally,
No, the court system, not personally.
the court system does not use AI at all, not yet.
Only in Bangladesh or it's all over the world?
Okay, let me give you some stories. Like in the UK, very recently, maybe a
Hmm.
year ago, five uh, uh, junior lawyers were sent to the inn, and by sending to the inn means it's for punishment, like there will be hearing and everything. Inn would look into their misconduct and everything. uh, five, five, I guess, five, because they cited some cases, some
Hmm.
case laws. The case laws are considered common laws in the UK court system. So they cited some case laws, and the court couldn't find it, and later realized that the case laws, they do not exist,
Hmm.
and they found it from ChatGPT.
I
So
see.
right now the courts are really not in a position or in the mood to use AI or let the AI to be used in the courtroom. But it is the future. It will come in place, but
Hmm.
right now they are not. Now, let me tell you how it will come. The
Hmm.
procedure, the process will be observed by the AI. The filing, the evidence seeking, and everything. The judgment, never, because judgment requires looking at the emotions of the
Hmm.
people.
So it's
When
more
they
like
are,
AI can be an agent for just to support.
yes, a
Hmm.
helper of
Okay,
the court. They will
understood.
sort the files, sort the evidences, but the decision must be taken by the judge.
Understood. So, okay, our before rapid fire session, I would like to share one piece of good news from Miswaak to my audience. Our recent Miswaak Let's Talk session with Shakila Rahman focused on women, work, and care. That conversation later developed into an academic case study titled Choice, Care, and Economic Participation, an exploratory case study of Bangladeshi women in information technology. It has been accepted for presentation at the International Women's Forum 2027 in Paris. Congratulations to Shakila Rahman, our co-author. This is a wonderful achievement for Shakila and as well as for Miswaak. It shows how far our meaningful conversation can travel. And now, Khalid, it is time for something quicker, our rapid fire round. I have 10 questions. You can give me short answer, add one or two quick line, or maybe skip anything that cross your boundary. So, are you ready?
Yeah,
All right. First up, delayed justice or wrong justice?
delayed justice,
Great. Law or public pressure?
law,
For the bail, right or privilege?
right.
Death penalty or life sentences?
In Bangladesh, death penalty.
Okay. Can a popular verdict be wrong?
It can be.
It can be wrong. Okay. Are our courts truly independent?
Skip.
Okay. One reform we need now.
Judicial reform.
Can AI understand justice?
No, not yet.
Should AI ever judge someone?
No.
All right. The last question I will skip because I have another idea for that. Thank you. That was sharp, honest, interesting. Let us now go to our feedback session. Khalid, before I wrap up, we would love to hear a few words about your experience today. How did you find the conversation and your experience with Miswaak? Let's talk. Over to you, Khalid.
It was a really wonderful experience. You were very helpful, and you gave me the topics that we talked about. Those are, right now the prevalent topics, and whatever we talked about, it was productive, and some new things came up, and you know you have given me the spaces to skip some certain points that I don't want to talk, and you have covered so many things in one session. So uh, I think this was a very productive session, and Miswak, uh, I think it's doing pretty well. I think it's a good platform. I hope that one day this platform reaches to some level.
Thank you so much, Khalid. We truly appreciate that, and thank you for giving us your time, your knowledge, and the perspective that you have today. We discussed today power. We discussed about public anger. We discussed about street violence, the delayed cases, and also artificial intelligence. Some of the questions were difficult, but you have handled it very well. There are conversations we need. These are the conversation that we really need, not like generic conversation. Justice is not something that is revenge, I would say, and a quick decision is not always a fair decision. I also agree with you that on that the real test is not whether the law can punish an unpopular person, but what I see, the real test is whether the law can protect an unpopular person, then hold a powerful person accountable, and treat an ordinary person with dignity. So before we finish, there are three quick announcements. First, please try the Miswaak Azan application. I will drop the link in the comment section. It is currently a proof of concept, and we genuinely need your feedback. Your suggestions will help us fix the problems and improve the application. Second, if you have knowledge, experience, or any idea worth sharing, you do not have to be a star, and if you would like to be the future guest of Miswaak Let's Talk, please email us at hello at miswaakofficial.com. So finally, please follow Miswaak and share this conversation with someone who may find it valuable. Thank you to everyone who joined us from Bangladesh, from Japan, and around the world. To my audience also, who are watching on Facebook and in Zoom right now. I'm Shahriar, and this was Miswaak Let's Talk. Khalid, we will now close the call.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank
Bye-bye.
you for being
Thank you.
part of the conversation. Thank you. Bye.